Ingram Micro has been dealing with the fallout of a major ransomware attack. The distributor giant confirmed last Saturday night that it's been hit, and it started notifying law enforcement and apologizing to customers and partners. Welcome to In Depth, everyone. Today, I'm lucky enough to be chatting with two of my colleagues. We have Kyle Alspach, security reporter, and CJ Fairfield, who is our channel beat reporter. So Kyle, let's kick it off. What do we know? What happened with this attack?
Well, as you were just saying, Gina, this was a pretty serious attack. Ransomware attacks happen all the time, but this one did lead to an outage that has lasted a number of days. Seems to be over now, but it all in all ended up lasting nearly a week. We know that the outage began probably on July 3rd, and it was acknowledged as a ransomware attack a couple days later by Ingram Micro. The reports out there are that the group behind this, the cyber criminal group behind this, is a group called SafePay, which is a relatively new group, but definitely one to keep an eye on. This is probably their highest profile attack yet to date. So it seems like it's a pretty standard ransomware attack where the disruption was pretty serious. We also don't know yet if there was data stolen. Often in attacks these days, it's not just ransomware, but there usually is also some data theft that occurred, but we don't know. We have no details on that yet. So that part is TBD.
Yeah. So what's been Ingram's, response from a security perspective?
So there's sort of a couple different things. One is the usual response as far as security goes is to do exactly what Ingram did, which was take their systems offline so that they could remediate the situation, expel the attackers, make sure they can't do any more damage, and start restoring things, bring in outside experts. They followed all that as far as we can tell. But there's other aspects to it, that there are more questions about. One is certainly, this was a ransomware attack. Was there a ransom paid? We don't know. That's another thing that's to be determined at this point still. And then, one of the other aspects is just around the communication of it. Often with attacks, the ideal is for the victim to be the one to disclose it, if at all possible, so that there's not lots of rumors swirling around there and confusion. In this case, it was a July 4th holiday, which may have affected things, but Ingram Micro, as you were just mentioning, disclosed it on Saturday evening, which was probably about 2 days after the outage actually began. So, there were initially some questions about whether or not that was a prompt communication out to partners and customers or not. Some concerns about that, but that, it can be debated whether or not that was, an effective way to do it or not, or whether, the holiday just made it impossible to communicate about it. But I think that's one of the other, major things, not directly security related, but it certainly is, in these cases, there have been plenty of cases in the past where the company itself gets attacked. They're the one to tell the world about it. Everything just kind of goes better for everyone. That's what partners are really looking for is sort of transparency. And they're not looking to just punish, a company for having a ransomware attack, which is incredibly common at this point.
Yeah, and certainly very bad timing with the holiday. CJ, obviously partners being near and dear to our hearts at CRN. How is this attack impacting partners?
Well, to Kyle's, to what Kyle said, that a lot of partners in the beginning were skeptical about, hey, how come they're not saying anything? 48 hours went by, and we understand it was a holiday weekend. But we've seen this happen before on holiday weekends. And so they were kind of like, it's not the attack, it's how you respond to the attack. But they put out a note, Saturday night, and they have been diligent in getting out updates every single day, sometimes twice a day this week. And even though partners were kind of upset about that, the lack of communication up front, a lot of partners I talked to with Ingram Micro are happy with Ingram Micro, and they love their service with Ingram Micro. And so they're like, we're not leaving them. We're not switching distributors. A lot of partners have other distributors they already work with. And so they're saying to me that, they're not leaving, they're staying put, and they're a victim. And so we have to kind of give grace in these situations. So a lot of them are saying, hey, it's slowed down shipments and orders a little bit, but they stayed put. And if they had to do a quick order, they went elsewhere. But overall, they're sticking with them, and they believe that Ingram took the right steps.
Yeah. And since we know that business has been restored, what are partners thinking now? Is it sort of business as usual?
Yeah, they're saying business as usual. Of course, I had some partners I talked to say that they're actually reached out to Ingram, was like, hey, how can I help with this if I can do anything? So they're happy, the Ingram had said that they're back up globally. Systems are running, everything's fine. Like Kyle said, they took their systems down as a precaution when they found out it was a ransomware attack. And so this stuff happens. Hopefully business is back to normal going forward.
We'll continue to follow, this group that actually carried out the attack, SafePay, and if there's any further developments. In the meantime, check out CRN.com. And thanks so much for joining me, Kyle and CJ.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, Gina.